Testing, audio testing. Testing, testing. Alright, we're just waiting to load into the track here. Okay, here we are. Welcome, everybody, after a one-week break, welcome back to BRL Season 6, and we're kicking the weekend off today with Formula 2, our tier that does F2 cars rather than the normal F1 cars, and we were going to start the streaming week with Realistic, but unfortunately there was a problem with that. I myself wasn't available for that, and no one else was available to fill in. So the race still happened, and I'll go over the results of that in due time. But first, let's get qualifying out of the way. Again, Formula 2 weekend format here. We're not just using the Formula 2 cars, we're using their scheduling as well. So we're going to be starting out with a one-shot qualifying session. That's the only particularly unique part of this. And then after this, we'll be going into the feature race, which would normally take place on Saturdays, and that'll be, I'm actually not sure how long that would be around here, but it is half the length of a normal F2 feature race. And then the top 8 finishers from the feature race will be reversed to make the starting positions for the sprint race. Everyone else will stay the same. And today we are at the Baku City Circuit. That is the location for round number 6 here in our 17 weekend season that we're trying to squeeze in before the next F1 game releases sometime this summer, hopefully. And Baku being known for being very tight, very unforgivable. As you can see, the wall's super close to the exits of corners. And of course, this is the infamous castle section that Deer Hunter's going through right now in his high-tech Grand Prix car. Seeming to get through it all right. Ooh, Taylor Clan, not so lucky. I'm not sure what just happened to him. Let's see if we can find out. We can't spectate him. Ooh, Big Harry Jock as well. 2 cars already. The Dams of Taylor Clan and what looks like the Carlin of Jock have both run out of road there and most likely crashed, maybe in the castle section, considering where they're on the timesheet right now. So we're only going to have 12 people finish qualifying, but they'll come back for the race, don't you worry. As you can see, the 2 tire options here for Baku. Of course, there are 3 tire options in terms of compounds in Formula 1. In Formula 2, we stick to 2 compounds, and today those are the purple-walled Super Soft. Shorter life, but better over a single lap, which is why they're being used here in qualifying by pretty much everybody. And then the yellow-walled medium tire, which does not hold up quite as well, but is much better over a long stint. As Deer Hunter sets the pole lap there with a 151.45, and that's actually only 3 milliseconds ahead of the unsighted port and the UNI Virtuosi. Wow, that was pretty close qualifying. Of course, I don't tend to do play-by-plays of one-shot qualifying because they're really just too quick. There's too much going on at once. But here is the starting grid. Deer Hunter on pole for high-tech GP. And he'll be joined on the front row by Unsighted Port, who, as things would have it, is currently the championship leader with 166 points on the board. He's actually won fully half of the races that we've run so far this year. 5 out of the 10 races from the 5 race weekends so far. BRL Neymar is on the second row, followed by MEX Fitz, who's actually making his debut today as a reserve driver in the tier. Jeremy 14 in 5th, BRL Phantom in P6, not too bad for him either. Boosted GMC and FRT Cineflow, the 2 Campos cars in 7th and 8th, and then TRL Stig and Mean Fern rounding out the top 10, followed by Mex Senna and Ed Taronia, and then Taylor Clan and Big Harry Jock. The final 3 there, the Prema, the Dams, and the Carlin at the bottom of your screen did not set times, as you can see. Everyone else set times on the super soft compound of tire. So it's time for the action here. Let's see if we've got anything going on in Twitch chat. Oh, we got a couple of hosts. Pogs OG and Exia GTF1 have both just started hosting the stream, so thank you both very much for that. And ooh, it's very overcast actually. Look at this. Okay, this should be interesting. It's never rained in a race at Baku in real life, but for some reason the game sometimes likes to throw a curveball in the mix, and it makes it rain sometimes. I remember when this game came out, I was still doing the My Team Career mode, and it actually did rain for me at Baku as well. And it's actually been happening a lot during this game. I'm not sure why Codemasters turned up the chance of rain to such a high point compared to other Middle Eastern tracks like Bahrain, Abu Dhabi, etc. But we could be in for an interesting race here today. Big Hairy Jock saying, "All right, mate." I assume that's it in response to asking how you're doing. So welcome to the chat, Jock. Sorry about that tough break in qualifying, but hopefully you'll be able to claw a little bit of that back. And here we go into the formation lap now. Just getting our doodads up here. And it looks like most people have opted for the super soft compound tire. Ooh, the lobby host just left the session. That's never good. Let's get Fern back in here. Here we go. Alright, just getting that out of the way. And now, as you can see, the pole sitter Deer Hunter leading everyone on the formation lap. This is the chance that the drivers will get to warm up their tires, which is especially important for the 3 people who are, as you can see, running the medium compound tires that are going to go much farther into this race, probably about 8, 9, 10 laps, maybe even 11. I'm not exactly sure how long the super softs last at this track. I haven't done that much practice in these cars at this track, but these guys have. I'm sure they'll be able to shed a light on it in the chat if they're watching the stream right now. Mex Road Rebel saying, Mex Motorsport Team, regards, yeah, Mex seeming to have 2 competitors in the field today, Senna and Fitz. Senna's full-time, Fitz is not. And Senna, as you can see, starting in P11, has actually opted to start on the medium compound of tire. So he's trying to go for that reversed strategy. Should be a very interesting move. Big Harry, or not Big Harry Jock, Taylor Clan also opting for the mediums. And TRL Stig actually is as well. I'm not sure what's going on there. If I remember correctly, in F2, the top 10 have to start on the same set of tires that they used in qualifying, just like in F1. But it might be the top 8, considering how the reverse grids work around here. We'll have to double-check that. We've got 3 competitors starting on the mediums, but the prevailing wisdom seems to be super softs are the way to go. Especially since we could be getting a little bit of rain here. We'll have to see. It is looking, again, very overcast right now, as if it could start dripping down just a little bit any moment here. We go on to Baku's gargantuan front straight. It'll probably see the most overtaking action out of it anywhere on this circuit today. They're coming through the final 2 corners right now. A couple of flat-out left-right exchange, and honestly, that quick left-right, it is flat-out. It is on the front straight, but it can also be very hairy. I will mention it can be pretty nuts if you're on worn tires. It can certainly catch you out if you're not careful. I believe before the aerodynamic changes that were made to the cars in 2017 to give them more downforce, Baku wasn't actually flat out on the front straight. That left-right did require you to lift a little bit. But now, of course, it's no problem, even for F2 cars, to go through there. Now the grid forming up on the pit straight. Baku, its front straight is like the polar opposite of Russia's. If you guys have seen Sochi. Of course, they're both very long, their front straights, but Baku has its start-finish line right towards the end of the straight, and Sochi has its right at the start. So it creates interesting dynamics. Sochi, that means you can have a more chaotic start on the straight, and at Baku, this means turn 1 is normally the most hectic because the cars are still bunched up, but we're about to see what happens here. 3, 4, 5 red lights. Camera trained on Deer Hunter. They're out, and away we go. Looks like a good start for everybody. Everyone being a little bit gingerly because of the overcast weather, maybe cooling the tires down a little bit. Deer Hunter leads into turn 1. Ooh, Pork gets a little squirrely out of turn 1. Let's ride on board with the Ivan Iverturusi car, and BRL Neymar is peeking over to the inside, and there's contact from behind. Looks like Jeremy 14 got a little too ambitious there in the turn 2 braking zone, and that's going to let BRL Phantom by now in the Charouz car. 3 cars nose to tail here, 4 actually. Meanford in the MP Motorsport car watching on further back. Looking like a good battle so far, pretty clean into turn 3. Just a teeny bit of contact, a bit of a lockup from Port, but he's still on the road, and that's what's important around here. Side by side go Neymar and Phantom through turn number 5, and the guy's going to love to see that in his mirrors is Deer Hunter, because the more these guys squabble amongst themselves in the opening stages, the easier it's going to be for Deer Hunter to get to that 1 second range that he needs by the start of lap 3 to break the DRS to the cars behind. Deer Hunter already almost 2 seconds ahead of the other 3, actually, as Port gets past Jeremy and Phantom getting shuffled back slightly. Let's ride on board with Phantom now. Jeremy's all over the back of him, and Fitz has found a way to get past Meanfern, and Cineflow seems to be pressuring the MP Motorsport car as well. Everyone really getting real close together right now. And as you see, onside of Port trying a move here on Neymar. Port trying to reclaim second place, but there's not enough room. Not enough room there. Oh, they're still side by side. He's going to try and go up the inside in turn 15. That's never the best idea, and there's contact with the wall. I'm not sure what just happened to Phantom. Phantom's lost an end plate. Look at that. Phantom's lost an end plate on the right side. They went side by side through a corner where you normally would not even think of doing so. And it looks like the Charouz driver is going to pay the price. Oh, and into the wall. He almost DNF'd there. And wow. Port now clamoring into the back of him. You could say that's karma because he just lost an end plate as well. Either way, they're both going to have to pit for repairs now. 3 wide down the front straight, but 2 of them with wing damage. And at the end of lap 1, neither of them pit. Interestingly. I guess they're going to try and stretch their tires out to their normal stint length. As Deer Hunter now leads lap number 1, and he's looking pretty good at the moment. Yeah, Deer Hunter getting over a 2-second gap already to the dams of Neymar in second. Neymar really the only one emerging from that battle for second completely unscathed. Very hectic indeed. And it looks like the scoreboard is glitching out slightly, so the top 2 are correct, but everything from third on down is a big glitch right now. The current running order is Deer Hunter. Ooh, I can't even tell actually. It looks like it's Deer Hunter, Neymar, Fitz maybe, and then Port. Okay, yeah, we just have to wait for the scoreboard to work itself out here. Riding on board with Deer Hunter. It looks like people are being shown blue flags for some reason, even though they're on the lead lap. Codemasters said they patched that issue in the most recent patch. I believe it was a week or 2 ago. They said they'd fix the issue where at the start of a race, sometimes people can be shown as a lap down and the standings get all out of whack, but from my view at least, from spectator camera, it looks like that is not the case at all. Oh, and Neymar's around. Neymar got just a bit too squirrely out of turn 12, I believe that was, and now he's lost an end plate. The key to success here at Baku is just avoiding that front wing damage because of how important the front downforce is in the technical sections of this track. But Neymar, Port, Phantom as well, they're not abiding by that. They're being too aggressive in the early game, and it's really costing them. As you can see, Port with his wing damage is now holding up a big truly train of cars behind. Fitz has gotten a pretty good start actually from P6 up to 4th already thanks to the carnage. But already Port's holding up Fitz, Meanfern, and Cineflow as well, not to mention Jeremy, and now Cineflow is actually going to the inside of Meanfern, and he's going to get a nice clean pass done on the front straight. And he's going to get DRS, so he could get 2 in 1 straightaway here. Cineflow's going after Fitz. Fitz doesn't have DRS on Port. Not sure how that happened, but here he goes down the outside. Fitz is going to defend valiantly, and it looks like it's going to work. Cineflow is forced wide. Not that Fitz really did anything wrong or untoward there. And now Meanford's going to go back up the inside of Cineflow. How's this going to go? Not too well. Cineflow stays ahead, gets a superior run out of turn number 2. Jeremy really pressuring these 2 from behind, ready to strike whenever these 2 make a mistake. DRS again for both of them. Into turn 3, Cineflow locks up. You can feel the pressure from Fern's alongside again, and he's going to try to go around the outside of turn 4. And that's going to give an opportunity to Jeremy. Cineflow held that Meanfern there, and now Jeremy's going to maybe get 2 positions in 1 corner here. He's at least going to nick Meanfern. Cineflow locks up again. Meanfern goes back around the inside. And they're as they were, but they're all commonly losing time to the foe ahead of them, that being Fitz. Yeah, it looks like Fitz is really getting a nice gap for himself now, and the cameras are glitching out, so that's quite nice. All right, let's reset everything here. And here's the rear view cam of Fitz, and as you can see, Cineflow has just lost so much ground to him, and yellow flag in the middle sector. It looks like there's a hold up further back, and it's, big crash in the castle section. At least TRL Stig and Ed Taronia are involved, the Prema and the ART. Both of them seem to have severe wing damage. I think Max Senna, yeah, he's been involved as well. He's missing an end plate on the right side, so Baku already claiming a couple of victims there. They're not out of the race, but they are really far behind right now, and the safety car has been deployed. So at the very least, actually, this might be a godsend to everyone who's gotten wing damage towards the front. Phantom, Port, Fitz, all of them are going to get pit stops now, and they won't have to lose nearly as much ground as they would have by pitting for a new wing under the green flag. It's probably saved Senna's race too. Actually, it's probably saved the races of all three of these guys, Senna, Taranya, and Stig, because they are all going to have to pit after that altercation in the castle section without a doubt. Let's see the conversation in the chat. Oh, actually nothing. We've got 9 viewers right now. Come on, guys. Show us a little activity. Feel free to discuss whatever you like in the chat. Doesn't have to be related to the race. Just a nice place for everyone to hang out after a long Thursday. And with the safety car out. Oh, Deer Hunter's disconnected. Wait a minute. We can't be having that. Come on, Deer. Get back in here. All right, I've just re-invited him. Hopefully he'll get back in before the safety car comes in. Shouldn't be too difficult. Skeppy saying safety car shenanigans. Oh yeah, most definitely. No one even had the DNF for that to come out. It was just Stig and I believe, yeah, it was Stig and Ed Taranya just getting stuck up against each other in the castle section, and that blocked up quite a bit of real estate. And as you can see, a lot of people pitting. Oh, literally everybody is pitting, actually. Everybody except for Mean Fern, Deer Hunter, and Taylor clan. Interesting. So Taylor's obviously not going to pick because he's on the medium. So he's the only medium runner who hasn't run into trouble so far with incidents. So he's going to try and stick to his strategy, of course. But Deer and Mean Fern, that's an interesting one. And Boosted GMC has actually just been disqualified. That's a bit weird. The game said he was parked in a dangerous location. I can't speak to the validity of that claim. Remove a couple things from the screen here, but let's check the race director real quick. Oh no, it wasn't parked in a dangerous location. It was blocking the pit lane. I wonder, did GMC spin at the exit of the pit lane on old tires and on cold tires rather, and that just stuck him there? And I'm not sure what's happened. But all right, so I guess our first retirement of the day is not from the crash in the castle section, quite surprisingly, but no, it is from a disqualification for blocking the pit lane. You heard it first here, folks. And I have a feeling that this is going to be quite a long safety car period because the field is pretty spread out right now after 11 out of the 14 runners having to stop for new tires or a new wing or whatever. So, Deer Hunter dives into the pits now, and so does Taylor. Wait, why is Taylor pitting? His strategy is predicated on him being able to go the distance on the mediums. I have no idea what's going on there. I wonder if have these two gotten wing damage? I mean, for Deer Hunter it makes sense because it's part of his strategy. I'm surprised he didn't do it sooner, but yeah, he's going to lose quite a bit of ground to that. Oh, Taylor did get some wing damage. I'm not sure what that was for. It might have been contact with the car in front of him. I believe that would be was that Fitz? Yeah, I think it was Fitz. Interesting developments here. Mean Fern's going to inherit the lead, but he hasn't pitted yet. Oh yeah, Taylor must have hit Mean Fern from behind because Fern was the one in second place at the time. Taylor was third. So Mean Fern's inherited the lead, but MBX Fitz, actually. Fitz has just inherited the net lead of the race, as he's on the ideal tires for this period of time in the race. And he's pitted. So Fitz, starting from 6th on the grid, everyone else ahead of him just ran into trouble. Phantom, Deer Hunter now with the late pit stop. Port as well. He might just snag a surprise victory here in the feature race. Fitz, who's not even a full-time driver in the tier right now, could truly surprise us all, but there's plenty of hungry people behind. Neymar, after his early pit stop, he's right there behind on the super soft tires, which are going to be really aggressive after the safety car restart. Neymar's going to have to make his moves early because of that tire disadvantage. He won't be able to go to the end on those boots unless he really, really stretches it. Port's right behind as well, and he's on the correct tire. Geronio's behind. Cineflow, Phantom, Deer Hunter, they're all going to be really hungry for the 25 points and the win. But the win can only go to one person, and we're about to find out who that will be. Unsighted Port dominated last weekend, or rather 2 weekends ago, at Spain, winning both races and taking maximum points, but there are plenty of quick competitors here today, and as we've seen in real life and in league racing, Baku always has one constant about it, and that is nothing is constant. It is unpredictable. You can have a bunch of surprise winners here. You can go a lap down and still win here if you just keep going and don't retire in the pits. Yeah, that reminds me, I should go over the full results from our previous race weekend at Spain, round number 5. The Spain feature race, Unsighted Port won that one. Deer Hunter finished P2. His fourth podium of the season, if I'm reading that correctly. Meanfern got 3rd, and in the sprint rate. And for that race, Taylor Clan and Ham Newton rounded out the top 5. Ham Newton's not actually here today, unfortunately. And then in that same weekend in the sprint race, Unsighted Port won again, followed by Taylor, Fern, Stig, and BRL Phantom. And here today, most of the same players from Spain are still in the mix here, but with some added variables as well, such as Fitz and Taranya, not to mention Cineflow. And most people have caught up to the queue now. I'm not sure if the safety car will be in this lap or the next. I guess we'll find out when we get to the pit straight, since that's normally when the game announces it. And TTM Heatwave is hosting the stream now. Thank you very much, Heatwave. He's one of our Tier 4 drivers, if you guys don't know. Very active member of the community, and one who's involved in an unfortunately high amount of incident reports, but we won't talk about that on stream. And the safety car will be in this lap, so tough luck for Senna and Taylor Clan, both of whom have yet to catch up to the safety car queue. Looks like they'll have to do a bit extra. Actually, this could be good for Senna, because it means he can really go full chat down the straight, whereas everyone else has to accelerate manually. But Taylor's kind of out of luck here. Okay, so Senna is going to catch up to the back of the queue after all, but Taylor, it's going to be really marginal for Taylor. It's going to be real difficult for him. But meanwhile, Meanfern leading the field to green here on old super soft tires. After 5 laps of this circuit, those things cannot be happy. Dogs must be barking. And he's going, and it looks like actually a pretty good start for Meanfern. He's pretty ahead of Fitz. Port's going to try and go around the outside of Fitz into turn number 1, it looks like. Meanfern's going to avoid that drama move just barely. They're both side by side to turn 1 still. Fitz and Port. Great racing early on here. Fitz goes down the inside. Oh, he just makes it work. But Port's going to cut back. Plenty of action further back as well. As Taranya's currently 4th, Cineflow 5th, Phantom 6th, and Jock, Stig, Neymar, and Deer Hunter following them. As Jeremy and Deer Hunter swap places further back. Fitz right on the back of Port, but he has lost that place. Meanwhile, Taranya getting shoved out slightly by Cineflow, now takes P4. Fitz really getting aggressive in these braking zones, but that's both a blessing and a curse for him. As Phantom now gets past Ed Taranya as well for P5. Further back, those guys are all on the same tires. Cineflow, Phantom, and Taranya. No, Taranya's actually on these super softs, but he's going to have to pit pretty soon anyway. So he's not really a part of that fight further back. And Fitz again getting a little too aggressive on the brakes, having to check up a bit at the apex. Now you can see Cineflow just catching up ever so slightly to the back of this train. Really the entire top 5 equidistant from each other right now, from Meanfern all the way down to Phantom. And Taranya, Big Hairy Jock, they're not far behind either. Stig, Neymar, they're all still there. Not a whole lot of overtaking going on just yet, but plenty of opportunities for the pit straight here. There's going to be a huge slipstream train down the pit straight that could really make things interesting into turn number 1 on this next lap as we approach half distance in this feature race at Azerbaijan. ride on board with unsighted port, currently in second place. We lift slightly through the final corner, final flat-out corner. He is still right there, tucked in neatly into the slipstream of Meanford, and he wants to get past him as soon as possible. You'd think Meanford's actually going to duck into the pit lane. Ooh, okay, Meanford pitting now off the super soft. That's probably a pretty good idea. He's going to lose lots of places, though, much more than he would have otherwise. As Ed Tarogna actually comes into the pits, it looks like he's running into trouble, and he's running into even more trouble now with the Stewards' 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So that is one position that Meanford will not be losing in the pits. Yeah, it looks like he's gotten some wing damage. I'm not sure where from. He was in the midst of that battle for 4th and 5th, probably an altercation with Phantom or maybe Jock. But in the meantime, unsighted port has nothing but clear track ahead of him. And it's looking good for the number 4 UNI Virtuosi now, as he's only being hounded by Fitz, really. Everyone else has fallen back a bit. In fact, Fitz has broken the DRS to Phantom. DRS isn't enabled yet, but it will be at the end of this lap. So that is a pretty important detail to look out for in this battle for the win. But Phantom's pretty far ahead of his next competitor, Big Hairy Jock, who's now down by 2 seconds, actually. Everyone breaking the DRS range to each other outside the 1 second barrier. But Taylor, Jeremy, and Senna all really getting bunched up now, like peas in a pod. I suppose Taylor is the meat in the race lab sandwich at the moment. The two pink cars might just be ganging up on the Dans ever so slightly. We're going to ride on board with Taylor. See how he's getting on. He's kind of getting a little bit of a run, but I don't think it's going to be enough for a move. No, it is not. Oh, big block up for Taylor there, and he's right into the wall at turn number 15 in that corner. That braking zone could really just catch you out so much. Entrol80 asking in chat, what happened the last time when you said that you were screaming F2 League? I'm not quite sure I understand that question. So if you could restate it real quick in a different fashion, that would be great. Unsighted port setting the fastest lap of the race so far with a 154.747. And FRT Sinflow now going past Taylor. And into P7. It looks like Sinflow actually ran into a bit of trouble because he was in P4 previously. I think he might have a little bit of wing damage? No, his wing is intact, at least visually. Weird why he's back there all of a sudden. But anyway, let's keep our eyes on the prize here. MexFit's still just holding on to the DRS range of unsighted port. He has to do that for the rest of the lap, otherwise he's probably going to lose contact for the rest of the feature race. As there is no strategy left to play out. Everyone's on the same tires for the most part. And everyone can go to the end of the race from here. It's a straight fight to the finish. And one that these two are both taking very seriously, but Fitz just falling outside that 1 second range now. Just barely. He could get back in the... or if he has a strong middle sector here. Going up and through the castle section. Nothing too crazy going on right now, but further back, both the HWA Race Lab cars are moving up in the world. Jeremy up to 5th, Senna up to 6th, although they are quite a ways behind BRL and Neymar, so they probably won't progress too much higher than that. Sinflow, meanwhile, both still clinging on to them further back in 7th. And then Taylor 8th, Deer Hunter 9th, and Phantom rounding out the top 10 at the moment. And keep in mind, Taylor in 8th is currently holding on to reverse grid pole. Whoever finishes 8th in the feature race will start on pole position in the sprint race. So that is a very valuable position to have indeed. In fact, if you don't finish 1st or 2nd, the next most valuable position after that is probably 8th for this. Just because of the track position it'll give you. Senna now pressuring his teammate pretty significantly here. Sinflow lurking in the background, waiting for a mistake. Looks like Senna's going to be in position to go past. Fitz says the fastest lap of the race. Fitz is actually within half a second now. Oh, and he goes... What's happened to Fitz? He's just... Looks like he overcooked it into turn 1, and now he's spun around. And that is great news for unsighted port, and it's great news to everyone behind Fitz as Big Hairy Jock and BRL and Neymar now promote themselves up to 2nd and 3rd respectively. But they're going to continue their scrap right away. Bit of lag on both of them. Neymar coming up the back of the car. It looks like he's going to go down the inside into turn number 3. How is it going to play out? He's going to clear him before the apex. Well done to Neymar. Nice clean overtake there, but Hairy Jock is going to have a nice little switcheroo maybe? No, the track's too tight in this area. But he could come back in the middle sector, and oh, what's this? Unsighted port has crashed. Unsighted port has just gotten into the wall after turn 4. And that has lost him the lead of the race, and the safety car... I think the safety car has been deployed. Yeah, the safety car has been deployed, even though it's not saying so on my screen. As you can see, the mini-map is completely yellow, and the little yellow dot on the right side of the track, that is the safety car, as Port has just binned it into the wall. Ed Taronia has also just retired from the race. Looks like he's still out on track, so he must have retired on track, but he might have had a bit of a shunt that preceded that. Wow, okay, so this really changes the face of the race. 1 minute ago, 60 seconds ago, if you asked me who was going to win this race, I would say Unsighted Port undoubtedly has it in the bag. But now, with his mistake combined with the safety car, has just blown it wide open. Neymar now has the lead. Port's going to have to pit for a new wing if he doesn't want to get swamped by the cars behind him. And Big Harry Jock could be in a position to win. So could Fitz, so could Cineflow. This is really giving Cineflow a second chance at a podium after that previous hiccup. And the two HWA Race Lab cars are now going to have a chance to go up even further through the order. So this really is an interesting race. It's become much more open-ended for this safety car. So let's see if Port decides to pit. Will he keep his track position or will he pit for a new wing? That is what we're currently trying to figure out. And he is pitting. That was a late jut over to the left-hand side, but he is pitting. He is coming into the lane. And he gets a 5-second penalty. What are you doing, mate? Unsighted Port getting a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. His weekend has just gone from great to good to bad to worse, as he is now going to get dropped right to the back of the field, almost. At least going to get dropped to the fringes of the points. What a predicament for Unsighted Port. He's going to fall down to P9, it looks like. Although he will have the advantage of fresh tires at the very least, fresh super softs. But this late in the race, the safety car might not wait up for all the guys who just pitted. Big Harry Jock, wait a minute. What's happened to Jock? Why is he pitting? Jock's just pitted onto the super soft tires. I'm not sure why he's done that. He was in second place. He had an easy podium there, unless he got wing damage spontaneously under safety car like Taylor did. I don't see why he would have done that. Taylor also pitting onto super softs. I'm guessing they're a scuff set. So the queue is forming up now. Looks like everyone in the top 8, no, the top 7 is already caught up to it. And everyone else is going to have to hurry real quick. They're going to have to hurry up quite a lot because the safety car does not wait as long for drivers catching up with the queue this late in the race. There's only 4 laps to go. We'll have to see how much time the other drivers are given to catch up to the back of the queue. You can see Meanfern just getting there now. Same with Big Harry Jock and Unsighted Port. Looks like the safety car will stay out for at least one more lap, as it seems that everybody except for TRL Stig is currently in a position to catch up to the back of the queue and rejoin the race normally, but Stig is going to have his work cut out here. Don't think he's going to get it. He's half a lap down right now, and that might be his chance at points gone. No, and Troll, I think it'll probably be a 3-lap shootout. I'm guessing the safety car will come in at the end of this lap. Because keep in mind, this late in the race, again, the safety car does not wait up as long for other drivers to get to the queue. It's more on its own schedule now. And I do think it's going to come in this lap so that we get more laps of green flag racing, because that's what the safety car is for at the end of the day. The safety car gets deployed because there's an incident, and they want racing to resume more quickly. And Stig, you see thundering down the pit straight, but I don't think it's going to be enough. He's just too far back at the moment. Actually, no. Wow, okay, the safety car is staying up for another lap. Probably waiting up for TRL Stig. That is a surprise to me. Huh. Looks like the safety car is feeling nice today. But another lap still might not be enough time for Stig to catch up to the back of the pack, as he is still really far behind. Like, seriously. The queue's just getting to the end of the pit straight right now. Stig's not even on it yet. Yeah, it looks like Stig will catch up at the end of the lap, but that was a really close call for him. He's really lucky the safety car is feeling nice. Exia GTF1 saying Neymar is inspirational. Yeah, Neymar is doing quite well at the moment. He's really benefited from unsighted port's mistakes, since that did give him the lead of the race. Remember, folks, after the feature race, there will be the sprint race, so once this one finishes up, we are not done. Do not tune out after the end of lap 15, since we will still have the 11-lap fight to the finish coming up pretty soon here. Safety car is coming in at the end of this lap, so Neymar will lead the field to green finally, and that field will include Stig. You can see he's right there behind the queue. And he is going to be able to rejoin with everyone else. So let's see how early Neymar leaves it, or how late he leaves it, rather, before the start-finish line. He's going now, it looks like. Yeah, he's going. Nope. No, never mind. He faked it out. Interesting. Ooh, he's really backing it up. I'm not sure this is a smart play on his part, but he has a right to do it. How late is he going to leave it? My gosh. Ooh, right to the end, right before the start-finish line, and that's going to be real dicey, but it looks like he gets a decent getaway. Now Cineflow already on Fitz. Fitz has a look up the inside. Cineflow's going to try and contest second place. Everyone pretty orderly through turn number 1, but who knows how long that'll last. Fitz trying to go down the inside, still side by side. Senna and Phantom also side by side further back. Senna really making his way up the field at a rapid pace. Let's see if Fitz can close out the move here into turn number 3. Bit of contact, he shoves him wide just slightly. Cineflow, oh! He's around and he's made contact, and that has ended Cineflow's race, I think. What pandemonium here at Baku. Circuit claims another victim, and that one might have been Fitz's fault. We'll have to see from the stewards, but wow, that has really changed things, as one of the podium places now up for grabs, and it is immediately filled by BRL Phantom in the Charouz car, who's had such an up-and-down race. From being in a podium position at the start to getting the wing damage, and then pitting and being at the back and fighting in the midfield. Wow, what a race it's been for him. But he is now in a position to possibly land on the rostrum here. And oh, never mind. The commentator's curse strikes again, as Phantom loses the right-hand side of his front wing in the castle sector, and that is going to hand third place to Meanfern and the MP Motorsport machine. It looks like, oh, another bit of contact there. Oh, and more carnage. Big Harry Jock is out. What has happened here? Right at the end of two-lap shootout at Baku. This is what you expect, really, as Phantom falls down the order. And that's what happened to the Carlin of Jock. He really got into the wall hard there. I'm not sure what caused that. Maybe contact with another car further back. Might have been Fort, might have been Jeremy. They were both in that general area. But Neymar and Fitz both out front by some margin. I think they're going to have first and second place locked in here. Meanford, though, he could still be overtaken if he makes a mistake. Senna and Jeremy are both very hungry right now. Meanwhile, inside of Port, ooh, Senna just got mugged, and I'm not sure what for. Senna's going to try and go back up the inside, but it's not going to work. Port's going to try and get past the two HWA race left right at the death of things with those super soft tires. He's going to go up the inside of Jeremy now. Ooh, there's contact. Jeremy into the wall ever so slightly. No visible wing damage. But Port is into fourth place. And now Port's going to have 2.5 sectors to prove that he deserves this podium more than Meanfern, who's on 3-lap older tires and 2 compound harder tires. This is going to be the main fight here. Neymar's pretty far ahead. Fitz is pretty far ahead of Meanfern. But Port could close the gap here with his superior traction. We'll have to see. Jeremy's still holding on to 5th there. Phantom 6th, 7th, and Taylor Clan currently holding reverse grid pole, but that could change. Deer Hunter could snag it even though he's on older tires. Stupid Chicken 998 saying NASCAR is better. Exia disagrees. Well, everyone has their own opinions. NASCAR is great. I used to watch it religiously when I was a kid. And I can certainly see the draw of it. But, oh, look at this. Unsighted Port really getting near the back of Meanfern now. The gap has closed down to just 0.6 of a second. It's going to be a fight right to the finish here. Port may well snag the podium even after his mistake that helped bring out the last safety car. He is really pushing it to the limit now. As Phantom falls further down the order with his wing damage, and now Stig is attacking. Not Stig, Deer Hunter, rather. What happened to Deer Hunter, actually? He started on pole. I'm not sure entirely what occurred. He might have left the game. His car's ghosted right now, so... Yeah, I think Deer Hunter just up and left. I don't know if it was his connection or just pure laziness. He has left out of pure laziness before. Yeah, I remember he did it at Bahrain, if I remember correctly. And here we go. BRL Neymar winning the feature race. Fitz second. Jeremy third at the podium. Unsighted Port. Oh, of course. Port had that 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and that's going to give Jeremy 14 the podium. Would you look at that? Port still snags 4th, though. Meanfern down to 5th right at the end. Press F to pay respects for him. And then Stig, Taylor Clan, and BRL Phantom. Despite his damage, Phantom hangs on to reverse grid pole. So he'll start right at the front for the sprint race. And Deer Hunter, Mech Senna, and Cineflow behind them. Senna and Deer Hunter both still getting points, but they lack that sweet prize of the reverse grid. So there is your podium. Well, your podium is about to come up. Here it is. Here is your winner, BRL Neymar, alongside MEX Fitz on his debut, no less. And Jeremy with the surprise podium right at the end, but don't go anywhere. We are not done yet, as Phil Swift would say. We still have the sprint race to deal with, to dispatch of. And we shall do that now. It'll be 11 or 12 laps around the circuit with the reverse grid from the previous race. It should be just as hectic as the first one, hopefully. But maybe with fewer retirements. MEX Fitz snagging the fastest lap there with a 154.535, so he'll get the 2 bonus points for that. So overall, Fitz coming away from the feature race with a nice haul of points. He'll start 7th, though, for the sprint race. Well, he might have his work cut out a bit to repeat that performance in the sprint race. And of course, Cineflow, Harry Jock, Tironia, and Boosted, they're all going to be looking for a shot at redemption here, as they did not score points in this feature race. And I should mention there was no rain, actually, in the feature race. It started quite overcast, but now it's going to be real sunny, it looks like, for the sprint. So no more risk of rain for these guys. That variable is out of the equation, it would seem, for the sprint race. And the drivers are on the grid now. Seems that Ed Tironia and Deer Hunter have both left the lobby after their disappointing performances in the feature race. So if their AI scores points, I don't believe it'll be counted towards their actual championship total. And here we go on the formation lap for the sprint race. As you can see, BRL Phantom on pole position here. And we have Taylor in second, then Stig at Meanfern, Port, Jeremy, Fitz, and Neymar. And then all the other positions from 9th on down are the same as they finished in the feature race. Deer Hunter, Senna, Cineflow, Harry Jock, Tironia, and Boosted. Ooh, Deer Hunter saying in Discord chat that his power went out. And Tironia's internet died as well. Not sure if that's just an excuse or a real issue, but either way, both of them are out of the lobby. So I don't believe their points are going to be counted. Neymar saying he finished the feature race with an all-yellow front wing. So he's very lucky to have gotten across the line in the position that he did. Grid is forming up now, and the sprint race shall begin. Lights are out, and away we go for the second time today. Looks like a good start for Bantam, but even better start for TRL Stig. Look at that, going right up the inside into the lead of the race. What a start from the shooter driver, absolutely rocketing out to the front. Stig first, Phantom second, then Clan, Port, and Meanfern, it seems. What a surprise right out front. Oh, wait a minute. That's why Tierra Stig is on the super soft tires. That got him a better start, but he's going to have to pit, I believe. Unless it's just superhuman with tire saving. Same with Jeremy and Senna. Not sure why they've opted for super softs. Pit stop is almost never the way to go in the sprint race, but let's see what happens here. And Neymar, wait a minute. What's going on with Neymar? It looks like he's actually been plunked down to the back. No visible wing damage, but it might have had a spin somewhere in the first sector. And Deer Hunter gets past Big Hairy Jock there in turn number 6. Or Fitz and Cineflow, rather. Cineflow fighting back now. And back to the front. Oh, big crash! Phantom's around after getting reverse grid pole. He's down to P10. Oh, almost taking the wing off Big Hairy Jock there. And he's going to get dropped right to the back. What terrible luck for Phantom. But what great news for Stig, as he's now 3 seconds ahead of his nearest competitor, Taylor. What the heck? But Taylor, wait a minute. Taylor has wing damage, it looks like. Taylor's missing the right-hand side end plate already. How did that already happen? Big developments here already in the sprint race. As Taylor's undoubtedly going to come under pressure here from unsighted Port. Right on board with you and I, Virtuoso Car. I don't think he's going to be close enough to use the slipstream to get past into turn 1 here, but it's only a matter of time. Assuming Port doesn't bin it himself. The Stig's at the fastest lap of the race. Oh, it is going to be enough road for Port to get past. Maybe. Point. DRS is enabled. As it is the start of lap 3. Taylor's still hanging it on the inside. But no, he has to yield. Port gets past, and Jeremy's going to be pressuring him now as well. Jeremy gets past pretty easily, it looks like. Yes, indeed. Now Meanford's going to be next in line to have a go. Followed by Senna, it looks like. Meanwhile, the scoreboard is glitching out again. What else is new in your lives, fellas? Little Bat Yoda saying, hey, BRL guys. Hey, Yoda, how you doing? How's your evening been? In the middle of the F2 sprint race, as you can see. With TRL Stig after a rocket start out in the lead currently, but who knows how long that'll last after his pit stop. Inside of Port, meanwhile, in second place now, Jeremy third, Taylor still hanging on to fourth for Meanfern. And then Senna currently in P6, followed by Ed, Deer Hunter, and Neymar. Keep in mind, only the top 8 score points in the sprint race. So 8th place and not 10th is going to be the point you're aiming for. And Deer Hunter currently occupying the final points paying position, but he'll be disqualified because his AI is taken over. Same with Ed Taronia. So as of right now, the final points would go to Neymar and Boosted GMC rather than Ed and Deer Hunter. Senna now going up the inside of Meanfern is going to make it work. He's got better tires, but Meanfern has better track position. Going to stay ahead for the time being. Meanfern's still going to cling on to the DRS, I think, of Taylor. I guess we're about to find out. This could be a godsend for Taylor now that Meanfern and Senna are fighting. He might be able to get away a bit. Sticks at the fastest lap of the race, and sure enough, Meanfern does not have DRS. This is huge for Taylor. This is just throwing him a lifeline. Can't quite get around the outside of Jeremy, but the important thing is that he's social distancing now from Senna and Fern. Actually, Senna just got past Fern into turn number 1. Big developments here. Senna is on softer tires, though, so he should have a pretty easy time of dispatching of Taylor after he's caught up to the back of him, which should not be too long from now. 2 AI cars are fighting here, so if you've ever seen what 2 robots fighting each other on track looks like, here you have it. Look at this amazing wheel-to-wheel action between 2 totally real players. They're totally not ghosted into each other. They're just really close. Anyway, enough shenanigans for me. Let's get back to the real action. Oh, there's a crash! In turn number 8, it looks like, and Taylor is around. Wow, even more developments here. As Senna goes up into P4 now, Fern up to 5th place as well. What happened there with Taylor? I mean, it was really just hastening the inevitable there because of his wing damage, but still, that's pretty unexpected for the Dams driver, and I think he's got even more damage now. He might have... Oh, I thought he had a tire puncture, but apparently not. His right rear seemed a little wiggly, but never mind. As Neymar is now up into P8, and he's got the final points paying position at the moment, but again, Ed and Deer Hunter don't really count in this race because they are AI controlled. So, Taylor and Boosted should still get points as things stand right now. While further up the field, there is a legitimate battle for the lead now. Unsighted Port catching up slowly but surely to TRL Stig here. He's about half second behind. Port setting the fastest lap of the race now. I think Stig's tires are starting to fall off. He might have had a scuffed set there. I think he's using an older set of tires from the feature race. Port's going to back out into turn 2. Going to keep it close. Oh, Stig gets... I think he just got scared there by Port behind him, and I'd say that's a forced error from the UNI Virtuosi. And now, Port is in the lead. He's going to try and do what he couldn't quite get done in the feature, and that is win, win, win. Ride like a win now. So Port, get away from that ART, and you should be good to go. Actually, all three of the cars that are currently behind Port are all in the super soft tires, so they'll have to pit. Their tires are rapidly falling away right now. So I suspect Port's got this one in the bag. Meanfern should be in a position to get second. And then Neymar might get third, even though he's in 8th right now. There's 2 AI cars ahead of him that don't count on the timesheets. And the super soft owners that have to pit, so Neymar could actually be in a really good position here. We'll just have to see. Meanwhile, yellow flag in Sector 1. Looks like Cineflow's had some issues. Fitz and Cineflow both actually have pitted. Riding on board with Meanfern currently in the MP Motorsport machine. And we're going to move now over to Mech Senna, who's currently going after it with his teammate Jeremy. Jeremy going a little bit wide at the exit of that corner. Now they're going to be neck and neck here down the final 2 corners. Oh, they're slowing each other up just a little bit. Jeremy made Senna check up there, I believe. So both of them have tires that are rapidly falling away at the moment. Looks like Jeremy might come into the pit lane this lap. Yeah, Jeremy's going in. Senna is not. Stig's actually coming in as well. The sooner the better, I'd say, because those tires cannot be looking good at the moment. And there's the pits. Super softs go off, mediums go on, and that's going to be a really unfortunate issue for Stig and Jeremy. They're both pitting, and they're both losing track position because they started on the wrong compound. That's quite the mishap, but Unsighted Port is very glad that that mishap has occurred because now his lead has been stretched to nearly 7 seconds. And we've got some Pokemon emotes in the chat. Scissor looks like from Entrol. Okay, Entrol. As the ghosts of Ed's past and the ghost of Deer Hunter's past are both still battling it out on track for an irrelevant 5th place. As it stands, 5th place will currently be given to Boosted GMC, who's actually boosted himself quite far up the order, pun intended. And now he's in position for maybe a decent points haul here. After he DNF'd in the first race, he was disqualified actually in the future race for blocking the pit lane exit, if I remember correctly. As we are now just about at half distance in the sprint race. Not a whole lot of action right now, but Meanfern and Boosted are battling over a net 6th place in the race at the moment. As you can see, Meanfern right on the back of Boosted. About half second behind at the moment, but that should close up significantly with the help of DRS, which he has now. Let's see, how close can he get? How low can you go? Going to the outside, almost exceeding the track limits, and he's going to go right around the outside. What a sweeping overtake from Meanfern. And that's going to put him up into a net 5th place in this race. excellent move from the NP Motorsport driver. And Entral putting more Pokemon emotes in the chat. Much appreciated. Some nice little eye candy for a race that's quite honestly getting a bit boring. Actually, ooh, Boosted has a bit of wing damage, it looks like. Boosted is missing an M plate on the right side. So that's going to slow him up quite significantly. And BRL Phantom is currently on who's currently on a recovery drive. Would love to see that. Although I think Phantom's got some damage as well. He's at least missing his left side M plate. Ooh, he's missing both M plates. A lot of wing damage going around today at Baku. Makes sense. Street circuits tend to be like that in this game. Very unforgiving. Of course, they're like that in real life as well, but real life drivers tend to cope with it a little bit better. As BRL Phantom gets a 3-second time penalty now for track limits. I think that might be the first time we've seen one of those track limits penalties all day. Okay, so that puts Phantom behind Big Hairy Jock on the timing sheets, really. That could knock him down to a net 8th place. The difference between 1 and 2 points scored, that is. Jock is actually quite close to Phantom already. Oh, Phantom lost his entire wing. Hold on a minute. No wonder he got a penalty. He must have exceeded the track limits and exceeded the barriers as well. Or rather, ran into the barriers, because now, look at that. Ooh, it's almost dangerous for Jock to be going around the outside in that part of the track. And Phantom might have just had his race sunk there. And now Jeremy's going to be looking to capitalize as well. Jeremy could inherit the final points-paying position from that incident. Although Jeremy's coping with some problems of his own, as Phantom gets a 5-second penalty now for speeding in the pit lane. To add insult to injury. Entral saying Phantom hit the wall again and somehow didn't break his front wheel. He did a Charles Leclerc from 2019. I get your drift there. Yeah, it's pretty nuts how many lives the castle section can claim in one race. Oh, Senna! Speaking of lives claimed, Senna just got his left side of his wing claimed in turn 1. And that is going to seriously hinder his efforts as now Stig, Tyrrell Stig, into the final points-paying position. Into a net 8th place. And that is some serious bad news bears for Senna. As Max Fitz now coming into the pits as well, after running into some trouble of his own. And Meanford now making his way through the forest of AI cars. Putting past the Ghost of Ed Taranya's pass. And overtaking the Ghost of Deer Hunter's pass as well. So Meanford now into 4th place, both on track and on the timing sheets. And I suspect Boosted is going to get a similar treatment in just a lap or so. Only 4 laps left to go in this Azerbaijan Grand Prix sprint race. Oh, and Meanford just gone off the track, it looks like. Yeah, he has. He's overcooked it. He's in the runoff area. Wow, he's lucky there's a ton of runoff there at the end of the pit straight. Otherwise, that would have been quite disastrous. Yeah, 5th and 4th are close to Entral, but it doesn't really matter because those two will be disqualified if they're not actually participating in the race as drivers. So Meanford losing a couple of positions there to Boosted and Big Hairy Jock. Not good news at all for him, as he's moved down from P4 to P6. Very good news for Boosted though, as he's now in position to score quite a healthy serving of points. 8 of them. And the AI cars are still sniffing each other's butts as per usual. Gotta say, not a whole lot to talk about in this sprint race. I was expecting a little bit more action and drama from the shorter race with no pit stops or strategy involved, but unfortunately it does seem to have become a little spread out and, dare I say it, boring. Now left with 3 laps to go. And onside of Port is out into a pretty clear lead, and it looks like a Dams double podium at the moment with Neymar and Taylor. Is 10th a bot? Asks Central. Let's find out. No, 10th is not a bot. Stig is still in the race. Stig, after rocketing out into the lead early on, he had to make a pit stop, remember. And now he's just barely on the fringes of the points, although he could get a little further into the points now if he's able to overtake Jeremy. Thank you, TBD, hosting the stream. Well done, and thank you, Jakey. Although we are nearing the end here, we've only got about 5 minutes left. But thank you nonetheless. The support is very much appreciated as Boosted actually comes into the pits. Boosted must have lost his way. And now Boosted is going to be ejected from the points right at the death here. And that is not good at all, but his teammate Cineflow will still score some points for Camp Pulse, it seems. Phantom going past as well. Oh, Cineflow into the wall. No one can stay on the track today, and that could give Phantom the opening he needs to get points. Although he is still decently far behind. And missing an end plate on the right-hand side, as you would come to expect during this stream. Fitz setting the fastest lap of the race now in the Supersofts, 153.0. But it doesn't matter too much since you have to be in the top 10, classified in the top 10. For those 2 points for fastest lap to count, and right now Fitz is in a net 11th place. He would have to get past Boosted to go any higher and get those 2 bonus points. You are right, Mr. Troll. Stig and Jeremy are the closest. They're actually quite close. Yeah, let's focus on this battle for now. The battle, which at the moment is for P6. Oh, cutting the corner, Stig does. Naughty, naughty boy, Stig. Surprisingly, he didn't get a penalty for that. He just got a warning, I suspect. Yellow flag in the middle sector. Someone's around. It's Phantom. Phantom binning it again in the castle section. He's just not having the best of days, is he? Wow. Now back to the battle for P6. And here we go. Stig's going to get DRS. Looks like he's going to get past Jeremy here. And yes, he is. Look at that. Right around the outside. On the straight before the braking zone. Oh, but Jeremy's fighting back. Fighting back in the braking zone. He's going to close him out. Oh, he shuts the door on the ART with no hesitation whatever. A stout defense by Jeremy there. Stig tries going up the inside to turn 2, but that was never really going to work. He should have just waited for DRS down the second straight, and now he's not going to have the position to capitalize on it. On the penultimate lap here, Stig might be throwing slightly, throwing away 6th place. Not good for him at all. As Phantom comes into the pits, and that's very good news for MEX Fitz, because now Fitz is going to come along and pass Phantom while Phantom's doing his pit stop, and that's going to put him into the net top 10. So that should give him the 2 bonus points for fastest lap of the race that he got last lap. And yes, he does. Fitz up into 12th, which will become 10th when Deer Hunter and Taranya are disqualified. Senna coming into the pits as well. I'm not entirely sure why. Looks like a wing damage issue yet again. A lot of unscheduled pit stops today for wing damage. You never want that in a sprint race. Because, of course, in a sprint race, there are no scheduled pit stops on anyone's part. At least not if they're doing strategy correctly. Meanwhile, unsighted Port crossing the finish line now for the penultimate time to start the final lap of this sprint race. He's been absolutely dominant since lap number 4, whenever Stig came into the pits to ditch his super soft tires. And now Port is going to do what he didn't do in the feature race, and that is win. Neymar's going to be second. It looks like Taylor will be third, it would seem. And then the final points will go to Harry, Jock, Fern, Jeremy, Stig, and Cineflow, with the extra 2 fastest lap points going to Fitz, unless something else happens right now. Oh! Big battle here for 4th, actually. Harry, Jock, and Meadford going at it right at the end here. Into turn 1. Fern's ahead. Jock's got the outside line. He could try to cut back here. He doesn't quite have the momentum. Big Harry Jock, in the meantime, he still has DRS here. And there's a car stranded on the front straight. It looks like Ed Taranya's Ghost. No, it's not. It's Cineflow. Oh, look at this. Cineflow has just binned it off of one of the final corners. And again, he's ejected from the points now. That's going to put Boosted back up into the top 8. And it's going to let Fitz on by as well. So real bad luck there right at the end for FRT Cineflow. But in the meantime, unsighted port coming out onto the front straight at the moment. And he will cruise to victory here. 15 points for the win of the sprint race in Baku. Unsighted port will cross the line momentarily. And he does now to win the sprint race at Baku. Now we're just waiting for confirmation of the final points positions. Neymar will be in second place, followed by Taylor in third. And there they go, across the line. Actually, Taylor's a little bit further back. And then, of course, the friendly ghosts, Deer Hunter and Ed, who will not actually be scoring the points for 4th and 5th place. Jock's going to come in the real P4, and then Fern, and then Stig, it looks like. And Jeremy coming in at 9th. That'll turn into 7th after the disqualifications. And he will score points as well. And Boosted is going to go to the line as well. He's just going to cruise, I suppose. And he will get 1 solitary point. Phantom getting a penalty right at the end for track limits. Not sure what caused that. And Fitz across the line, the man who set the fastest lap of the race. And there we go. We're just waiting for the stragglers now. Phantom and Cineflow. We won't need to wait for Senna since he got lapped. And Cineflow across the line almost. And he'll be doing it now. And that is the end of it. Skidding across the line for show. And that concludes tonight's stream. Sorry we couldn't get realistic to you guys tonight. Unfortunately, there was nobody to fill in. So tune in again next week for Canada. And of course, tune in tomorrow actually for tiers 3 and 4, as well as tier 1 PC. We'll be streaming that on Twitch and our YouTube channel at twitch.tv/Breakout Racing League and youtube.com/Breakout Racing League. So watch out for that. But for tonight, we are done. This is your podium, and I'll be showing you the total weekend results, the total points from both races in just a moment. Although they will not be accurate because of Deer Hunter and Taronya's disconnections. And there you have it. Unsighted Port taking home most of the points. Oh, this is showing the sprint race results. Hold on a minute. Here we go. These are the results. Neymar actually taking home the most points, followed by Port and Fitz. And the only two that came away with nothing were Boosted and Cineflow, but that'll change for Boosted after the disqualifications, of course. And that's all for tonight.